Welcome back to Good Morning Let's Basketball. We missed a lot last week when not recording an episode. It seems like the whole NBA decided to have one of the best off seasons we've seen in a while. The NBA draft happened. And I was talking with Miles, and I was saying if we don't record this podcast last week, it was going to be like when you miss school for a day. It's like six fights. Beyonce comes and performs in the cafeteria. And exactly that happened.
The weird kid chokes on a Bosco stick.
I
I
knew
will
more was
say,
gonna build up, so I was like okay with like
Mm.
missing an episode because I just knew more was gonna happen. So I believe at the time it was only like Dejounte's move that happened. I just had a feeling that other things were gonna happen. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that we didn't
did
jump on it
anyone
right away.
did anyone notice that Zoom got updated too? Or has it been updated?
Nah, this is new.
Okay, yeah.
This is
So
news to me.
so it really did happen. We left for a week and a bunch of stuff changed.
Let's
New
let's ma-
chapter.
let's make it clear. We didn't miss or like leave. We left. We said we were gonna do it every other week. So this was predestined. This was a predestined pod right here. This was
For sure.
pre-planned.
But I love how if we didn't take that break, nothing would have happened in the off season.
We would have had a tumbleweed across Twitter from Woj and Shams.
Make sure to like, subscribe, share, rate us on all those platforms. But we're gonna get into the first topic. And the first topic is the Pelicans received Dejounte Murray and the Hawks gave up Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, a 2025 first round pick, a 2027 first round pick. And I want to see what you guys think about this trade.
I feel like we all kind of saw either Trey Young or Dejounte Murray, either one of them being moved from Atlanta this offseason. And that move got made quick, just first week one of the free agency. Dejounte Murray was the one that was moved. I did not anticipate him to go to the Pelicans for some reason. Like, I think a little part of me wanted him to go to San Antonio just because, like, to see that reunion back. And I felt like it would have been, like, really good for that team as well. Got Chris Paul instead. So that's that. But, the Pelicans are definitely better now. They definitely have a lot more perimeter defense with him there and CJ as well. Big Val left. Now I'm just really curious to what's going to happen with Brandon Ingram.
You think they're gonna keep him or trade him?
He might be gone. I think he might go. I think a dark horse for him is the Kings. I've been seeing that on Twitter.
I think that would be solid. I kind of like him there.
Or like Harrison Barnes, probably, like something like that. I wonder who would they give back though, is my question.
Monk.
Herder,
True.
package up
Yeah.
Herder or something.
Malik Monk just had one of his best seasons, got paid.
One
Yeah,
of one
I feel like he's kind of a lock for off the bench though. I don't know, but go ahead.
one of the things I was gonna say is when the Hawks initially got DeJounte Murray, they traded three first round picks and a pick swap for him. And you essentially traded, so this is hindsight, of course, but you essentially traded three first round picks and that pick swap for Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr., which is just like I I'm not gonna go too much on a tangent, but I think the Hawks are the biggest losers of this NBA offseason so far. Just losing Dejounte, well, trading Dejounte, not really having a direction, getting back not I wouldn't call this a great haul for them. I do like Larry Nance Jr. Dyson Daniels has potential, but combined with their draft pick, who is what was his draft comparison? Like Tobias Harris. It's it's a weird offseason for Atlanta. I'll say that.
Yeah, more like a pretty bad one. But I'm really this rookie draft class is just really, really surprising. I mean, they got their number one pick, Zachary Rissache. I have no idea if I said that correctly, but you know what?
I
Maybe if
think
he
you did
starts playing
well.
good,
That
I
sounded
think
right.
I heard them say that on TV. I was like, you know what? They should probably know. But yeah, they needed some interior defense, some wing players, so they went and got him with the first pick, or with the first pick. I thought that they should have went and got Alexander Sarr, but I think him and Visachet are like pretty like I don't want to say similar, but I don't think you could have went bad either way. Obviously, these two guys don't have like the star power that the number one pick has had the past 5 years in the NBA draft. I think that's really where this year lacked. But who knows? Maybe the kid could be decent. It seems like France has been sending a lot of players from the country to the NBA now. We're experiencing another French Revolution. There were three, I think, in the top 10 in this year's lottery. I think there was three French players.
Yeah, I was shocked that the Hawks didn't get Alexander Sarr because I thought that was going to be the first pick for sure. And it seemed like Hawks fans were upset that they didn't get him. And then with that trade too, it's just bad offseason for the Hawks, I feel like. And then with the Pelicans getting Dejounte Murray, I think that they should try to move from Brandon Ingram and then keep Zion, CJ, Dejounte, and see how well that does. I'd be interested to see how far they go because their defense was pretty good last year with Herb Jones, and then adding Dejounte Murray there too, I think could help. I think I don't know if I would say this moves the needle for them because I don't think it does too much, but I would want to see what they do with Brandon Ingram.
You guys do know that Alex Sarr refused to work out with the Hawks, right? That's why they didn't draft him.
No, I didn't. I didn't see that.
Yeah, he refused to work out with the Hawks. That's why they didn't take him, just for the record. So he probably would have been the first pick if he worked out with them. And they asked him on live TV. You guys should look it up. It was like an awkward
See,
PR response he gave.
all right. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but when players do that, when they refuse to work out with like certain teams and stuff, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how are you gonna tell like the NBA you don't want to work out with that team when like you're blessed to be able to get into that opportunity?
When do you
I
think
don't know.
that started?
Well, the
It's
the
just
thing
crazy to me.
was, he has the same agent as Luca. So word on the street is because of what happened with the Hawks drafting Luca and trading him, that was like the reason why he he didn't want to work out with the Hawks. They said the agent had a lot to do with it, but that's just word on the street.
But the same thing even happened with like Bronny. He was saying that I think Rich Paul came out and said that if it's not the Lakers or Suns, don't even bother drafting Bronny because he's gonna play overseas in Australia.
I feel like Rich Paul didn't even have to say that.
He
Yeah.
didn't, but it was still
Like,
crazy. It was still crazy for him to say it.
yeah, but like, yeah, but like, I don't really think any other team in the league besides the Lakers thought about drafting Bronny James. I know that I saw a Celtics executive joke about drafting him. Like they said, we might hold him hostage. I think it might have been Brad Stevens, regardless, because the Celtics had the pick right before the Lakers. They had pick 54. And a lot of people were saying, like, oh, the Celtics have like a chance to do like the funniest thing ever. But kind of bouncing back to Alex Sarr, bro would rather go to Washington than Atlanta. Atlanta's pretty damn bad, but I think, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. Washington has no direction. Atlanta doesn't have a direction, but I feel like they're better off. Like, I'd rather play with Trey Young than Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole.
Pool party. That's probably
Kyle
why he joined
Kuzma.
out there. Show him the
Kyle
city.
Kuzma. Oh my bad. Yeah.
No, you're
What,
good. That's literally it. I just keep saying stupid shit.
what about Kyle Kuzma?
He's looking to get traded, and I think the top destination for him right now is the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it is. So Kyle Kuzma's looking to get traded, but no one's looking to trade for him. I feel like that's more of a correct scenario of what's going on with him. Going back to the Lakers, yeah, of course. I mean, why not? But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say like Alex Sarr going to the Wizards makes that Valanciunas signing so much more weird. Like why? Why would they bring in a center when you're literally drafting Alex Sarr? Unless he's gonna like play the four, but like a back to the basket big. Like it's just such a weird that's the weirdest signing of the offseason. I don't know what you guys think. That one just struck me as like why? Why did they do this?
It kind
Sar's
of caught
playing
me
the
off guard
four.
because yeah, I kind of felt like Sarr was going to play the 4-2 because he can stretch a little bit, and I feel like he has more like potential to get like a more consistent 3-point shot on him. I know that was kind of one of the his like draft day like things that they said for him. But yeah, I agree with you. Like Valanciunas being like a really weird signing of the offseason. I really wanted to see him return back to the Pelicans because who are the bigs in New Orleans right now? Nance is gone. What's his face? Valanciunas just left. It was great for them. Who's their big? Do you guys know? I really couldn't tell you. It looks like Miles is looking it up right now.
Yeah, I'm totally looking it up because, bro, I like you
I have
putting
no
us on the
clue.
spot.
Cody
Yeah,
Zeller.
no.
I was so Cody Zeller's their
Cody
big is their
Zeller.
go-to, bro.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
even
no,
think.
the needle is not moved with this Dejounte trade.
Yeah,
Maybe if they
bro.
got Hartenstein.
Cody Zeller is the only rotation player. Yeah, Vic's right. He's the only rotation player that actually can play center for them right now, unless they like have some infinity stone off the bench that they're waiting to implement. But
Yeah, because I think Val left. He signed with the Wizards right before that trade happened. So he left. So it's like, oh, they still have Nance, not the greatest, but they might pick someone up. But then they traded Larry Nance. So I was like, okay, they got Dejounte. The lineup looks good. They might move BI. Who is their center? So in trading BI, they might hope to get a center back or some type of big back. But yeah, right now it's really not looking good for New Orleans as far as the paint. The perimeter is great. The paint, not so much.
I think we've talked about Valanciunas way too much already. This is probably the most anyone has talked about that trade so far. Any analyst.
Uh,
Please, please, let's move on.
You
I
know,
don't
he's
want
one
to
of my
talk about this one anymore.
he's one
uh,
of my favorite players.
Is he really? I actually did not know that.
He's just one of those random players that I really like for whatever reason.
I respect his game for sure. I do
He just
respect
goes
his
hard.
game.
we're gonna grade NBA offseason moves, and the first one's going to be the Pelicans. What do you guys grade this trade?
I'm gonna say B minus.
I think I'm gonna agree. I was gonna go as low as C, but honestly, like if I look at whether or not it moved the needle at all, I would say it moved the needle in more of a positive direction. So therefore, it should be closer to a B. But there is the fact that we just talked about. It's probably not gonna do anything for them. So I'm pretty okay with B minus.
I'm a roll slightly better. I'm a roll with just a plain B. This trade was just mid. It's just a mid trade for the Pelicans. Don't even get me started on the Hawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B as well. If you made it this far into the video, we want to thank you guys for 900 subs. It is truly crazy how fast we got here, and we wouldn't be able to be here without you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video so far. Your support goes a long way. And also leave a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And out of recent news, that the Knicks finally got the reunion of the Villanova Knicks with getting Mikal Bridges. They had to give up Bojan Bogdanovic, 4 unprotected first round picks, a Bucks protected first round pick, a second round pick, and a 2028 pick swap. And they got Mikal Bridges out of it, reuniting that Villanova squad. I'm personally very excited for this trade and what this team can do this upcoming season. What do you guys have to think about this trade so far?
So I feel like it's really good for Mikal because I feel like Mikal is at his best and he's his best self when he's not a like first or second option on a team. Going to this team with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, he can really comfortably be that third option, focus on defense and 3-point shooting, which was his role for Phoenix. And he was really good for Phoenix those years. So I really feel like it's going to be successful. On top of that, these guys have won championships together in college. So I think it's going to be really great for them. I remember when we had Matt from Ball Game Pod on our show, he said, go out and get Mikal Bridges. It doesn't matter what we give up, if it means like 20 first round picks. Yeah, that really seems like they gave up a lot of picks. It was really surprised me though, because with the amount of picks that they gave up, they still had the 24th and 25th pick this year in the first round, which is cool. They got to hang on to those. I think that's actually really huge. But they did give up a lot of picks, but they did get a lot better with signing Mikal Bridges. The chemistry's there. Great player. It's really adding to their perimeter defense that they already have with OG, and it's looking really good for them, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Matt kind of hit a lot of the points in that episode on why it works so well. Just that chemistry is there. I think this trade honestly just works so well for not only the fans but also the team, and it's just pretty much a win-win for both sides. This was probably the best decision they could have made, and it is a lot to give up, but I think it'll pay off.
Yeah, shout out the Nets finally committing to purgatory there. I'm glad they did it. They did it sooner than the Bulls, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. But you guys are getting there. You guys are getting there. As far as this trade, obviously huge move. They're going to compete with the Celtics. As far as if it's enough to beat them off the bat, I know I'm wearing the Celtics shirt, but off the bat, I'm going to say no, but I could definitely see it being enough in the future. Um, the thing I wanted to point out is having a forward core of Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges. Bro, that is insane. Imagine like switching. Like they are going to do all the switching that they want, and it's going to be lockdown. So I really like seeing that. Those are all versatile guys who can guard 4 out of the 5 positions too. One thing though, Matt from Ball Game Pod said he wanted to keep Isaiah Hartenstein too.
You did say that.
Fortunately, that didn't pan out. So shout out him because he got half of his wish. Probably 80% of that wish.
Yeah. What was so interesting about that trade too is that they didn't trade Hardenstein. He just straight up left because he got more money elsewhere. Like he got a bag for OKC, man. He's actually making more money than Jalen Brunson this next upcoming NBA season. I think he's making like $5 million more, which is pretty crazy because a lot of people said that Jalen Brunson was being overpaid when he first signed. I'm not saying Hardenstein is getting overpaid, but it's kind of just funny to see. But yeah, I think them re-signing Hardenstein would have been big just because off of their bench. Well, in their starting rotation, it's going to be Mitchell Robinson, and he missed a lot of time last year with injuries. So hopefully he can stay healthy. And then who else do they have? Precious, he's still there, yeah.
Yeah.
Precious Achiuwa, yeah.
And he's not bad. He was pretty solid for them in the playoffs, obviously. But Hardstein really came to his own last year. He found his team with OKC, and we're definitely going to touch on that later. But it would have been nice bringing him back. But yeah, I can just imagine like the way the Knicks are going to operate their offense and defenses. Jalen Brunson coming off a ball screen, who's great at floaters. The big on defense is going to have to switch over to him, but then they're leaving Mitchell Robinson down there under the basket, who's a great rebounder alone. You got Mikal and OG on the wings, ready to shoot. On defense, you're being guarded by OG. Offensive guy sets a screen, boom, Mikal Bridges switches onto you. They're going to be a matchup nightmare, I think, for a lot of teams in the East with just like the good wings and fours that they have. So I think I'm excited to see how it pans out. Well, I feel like hopefully it does pan out because if they get worse somehow, then it'd be kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get worse, but I do really like this trade. I think it moves the needle for them. I still agree with Miles though. I don't think that they'll beat the Celtics out. I think that they'll finish maybe second or third in the East, but it's way too early to do predictions on that right now. Like you said, with Mikal Bridges going back to that like similar role to where he was on the Phoenix Suns, playing not that first option, I think is going to be huge for him. We saw him thrive in that role in Phoenix, and he ultimately made a name for himself there. And I think that's what he can do here with the Knicks. So I really like this trade, but defensively, they're going to be scary for a lot of teams. And I wanted to ask you guys because the Knicks with this new starting five, who do you guys think is going to be put on the bench? DiVincenzo or Hart or Anunoby? Like, how do you guys think the starting lineup's going to go?
I think it's gonna be. I was just about to ask this question, so I had this loaded up. So the one, Brunson. The two, OG. 3, Mikal. 4, Randall. 5, Mitchell Robinson. That's what I think the projected lineup's gonna be. Josh Hart off the
I
bench and
Yeah,
DiVincenzo off the bench.
I think that's what the starting lineup 100% should be too. I mean, even as good as DiVincenzo and Josh Hart played last year, those guys started the season on the bench and played a lot and found a lot of success because of the injuries that they had to deal with. So A lineup of Brunson, OG, Mikal, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson. I feel like that's a damn good starting lineup to send out there defensively wise. I feel like that's going to be really good. Something
Dude,
else I
and
wanted
the
to add to that little scenario too was I don't think anyone's four is going to be stronger than Julius Randle either. Very strong guy. So that's another advantage, just having a big body there at your four.
and then like the depth of just having Hart and DiVincenzo, and they still have Deuce McBride coming off the bench.
Yep.
Like, damn, bro. I wish they didn't lose Alec Burks though. I wish he was still there. They had to lose Bogdanovich, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, those three off the bench, Hart, DiVincenzo, Deuce. This team's just solid, bro. 3-and-D Hall of Fame.
Are they good enough to beat the Bucks?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. The Bugs beat themselves.
True. Might be too
Plus,
much
they're
down
getting
low.
old.
And the Bucks they've made no moves, have they? Have you guys seen everything about the Bucks recently?
They just signed. Oh,
Or Torian
what's
Prince.
yes.
They got Torian Prince. They just signed someone else too.
Oh yeah, they're not beating the Bucks.
Yeah,
Torian Prince. Nice. That's what they needed. I mean, it's a move. Sure. It's something, but I felt that was one team I said at the beginning of free agency is that's one team that they got to make moves because the East has made a lot of moves with PG going to Philly, New York getting better, Orlando up and coming. They got to make moves because other than that, I feel like next year, if they don't, they're going to be an afterthought.
they did get the steal of the offseason, DeLon Wright on a 1-year cheap contract. Bro was hooping for the Heat, bro. Bro was hooping. Not a difference maker, but definitely a nice piece for the future for them.
Another thing I wanted to ask you guys is so last year the Knicks in the regular season had a ninth best defensive rating with 112.4. With this Mikal Bridges trade, how much do you guys think this moves the needle for them? Are they going to be in the top five or potentially one? What do you guys think?
I think they'll be, damn, bro. I think a lot of it depends on Mitchell Robinson. If Mitchell Robinson comes back and plays like how back to how he was playing before his injury, I think they could potentially rival the Celtics up there at because I assume the Celtics are going to be one again. But I think it number one is going to be the Celtics or the Knicks. If not one, they'll be two. So I think it's easily between those two for top defense.
I think I don't know what it is. It's just kind of a gut feeling. I'm gonna go with possibly three or four. I do think that this trade is really good, and I do think that they got better, but I have this creeping suspicion that a lot of people think that the Pacers were undeserving of getting as far as they did this year. And I think that having this kind of under their belt and having this experience now, I think they're going to be a strong team next year. I think Hallie and that entire team is just going to do really well. So I think they'll probably hold at least the third spot. Let's say the Pacers do. Yeah, no. So I guess I just think that the Pacers will do well, and I'm not saying that the Bucks will be second, but I just and then there's also Philly too in there. So there's a lot of strong teams that could go in before the Knicks, and I just think that they'll be closer to the three or four than the second, which may work out better for them in some cases, but we'll see.
I think they're definitely cracking that top five. I feel like you maybe could have considered them the top five last year. I mean, they didn't have OG the whole year and they dealt with a lot of injuries. So I feel like they were already kind of there, very close, if not, but also just having that team there a full season, having Mitchell Robinson back, like Miles said, and then obviously adding a very great wing defender there in Mikal. I think top five, 100% a lock. One or two, I don't know. I feel like that might be pushing it a little bit. I don't think they'll have the as great as defensive efficiency as the Celtics, maybe even the Timberwolves too. But third, three for sure. I think they can definitely. I feel like that's definitely attainable for them, and I could see them getting that.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll be top five. But I think another thing too is they're gonna be so deep, man, one through five, and then Tibbs is gonna be able to run the starters 40 minutes a game, and then have a bench to be able to compete with the starters against the opposing team. So I don't know. I really like this trade, but let's get into grading this Knicks trade. What do you guys give the Knicks?
I'm gonna go with a I'm gonna go with an A. I was about to say A minus, but I'm gonna go with an A. We just talked about defense. I want to just bring up like how much chemistry plays a role in how you play team defense. And obviously this team has it. Their defense 1 through 5, maybe excluding Julius Randle, all great defenders. Oh, I guess not Brunson, but kind of Brunson. But then you have DiVincenzo and Hart off the bench too. Like all around, this team is built 3 and D, and the league is heading in a direction where team play and 3 and D players are going to win championships. So I'm going to go A. They went all in, and I truly think it's going to pay off.
Before anybody else goes, did you guys see that meme of it was like this guy at the barbecue that he didn't have any friends and like all the friends were like hanging out and someone was like, "This is Julius Randle," with the Knicks getting Mikal Bridges.
That's funny.
That's pretty accurate. But yeah, I'm in. I think Miles kind of summed it up really great right there. I think I'm going to give it a very high A as well. I'm in. And what really pushes it to that standard is just that chemistry. That chemistry is going to go really, really far for this team. And they definitely made the right move. It seems like they really listened to the fan base with making this move right here. Very serious about winning. They like the spot they were in last year. And I think this is going to be great for them. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a very high A, about a 95%.
I'm gonna give him a little shit here. I'm gonna go with an A minus just because it's obviously an A. There's no question about that. Like you guys said, chemistry is a huge thing, especially right now. We're seeing it with Celtics. I've said this before. Chemistry is big, especially in today's league. So that's definitely a huge thing. It just sucks that they had to give up so much. And I think that obviously Hartenstein wasn't exactly like he left on his own accord, but that does leave a gap in their offense. So I do think that, going up against other teams in the East, it'll pose a little bit more challenging maybe next season, but with that chemistry, it might balance out. Yeah, I give them an A minus.
Even though I like this trade a lot, I'm gonna go lower than you guys. I'm gonna have to give it a B plus just because of the amount of picks they had to give up. But overall, it's still a good trade. And with the picks that they had to give up, does this mean that Cooper Flag is going to be a Brooklyn Net?
I'm sorry for Cooper Flag if that's what happens. Bro, this I I like that though. I will say real quick, because I know we're probably gonna move on soon. I like never actually thought this was like a for real thing, like reuniting the Villanova four. And then when this trade went through, I was like, damn, bro, like this actually was real. Like, bro, I did not think they were actually like targeting Mikal Bridges. Like that
Yeah.
was so funny.
Like this was actually a possibility and now it happened.
Yeah.
Tampering?
Tampering,
Well,
bro.
Yeah.
They
well,
kind of have to, bro. Like,
I had specifically asked like Matt if it was like a real possibility of like things that were being discussed or if it's just like a Knicks fan thing. And I think he pretty much said that it's just like amongst the Knicks people. So obviously their voice was heard and they
yeah.
were able to get it done for their organization
Yeah.
or for
That's
well,
what
the
I
organization was able to get it done for their fans.
that's why I brought up to a few minutes ago. I was like, I feel like the Knicks front office just like went on Twitter and just put
Yeah.
like hashtag Knicks trades and see like who they wanted. Cause I was like, bro, like this was never in talks anywhere. I only ever heard Mikal come into the Knicks just from fans. So hey,
Then you
as
got
being a
the bull.
as being a pair to watch the games, going to the games, maybe they'll have the best interest in what's for the team, and you should listen to them. So it's maybe other teams will follow.
Yeah, it's surprising seeing they listen to the community because 2K needs to listen to their community. They're always known for never listening to the community, man. Klay Thompson has agreed to a 3-year, $50 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. Personally, I kind of like this a lot. I think what the Mavericks were missing was that like corner 3-point shooter for Luka to kick to or Kyrie. I think this helps them a lot. But what do you guys think?
I will say that they essentially gave up Josh Green. Like it wasn't like necessarily a 1-for-1 trade, but what they essentially gave up was Josh Green and got back Klay Thompson. And no matter how you put it, you could say whatever you want about Klay Thompson, the 0 for 10 shit, 0 for 10 stuff. I've said it myself, but this is a great signing. What killed the Mavs in the playoffs is their role players just did not hit shots. They got all the looks they wanted. The Celtics played off of PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr., and they could not hit shots. So Klay Thompson last year couldn't hit shots, but I think personally he's going to have his redemption season. Report just came out that he was miserable in Golden State. So redemption season for Klay. This is a great signing.
Yeah, and you could just tell just Klay just needed to get out of there. And I think me and Daniel may have talked about it a little bit off camera some time ago. Like, do we think we're going to see Klay Thompson get back to his former self? And I was like, honestly, man, I feel like just what that guy needs is a change of scenery. He's been with Golden State his whole entire career, all of the ups and downs that he's had, winning 4 championships, having an injury that took 2 years off of his prime. I feel like a change of scenery is really just what this guy needed. And I really believe next year that we can see Klay Thompson be Klay Thompson. And with just them getting Klay too, them getting Quentin Grimes is also pretty damn huge. No one's talking about that. A lot, obviously, just Klay Thompson's the bigger name over Quentin Grimes, yeah, but that's just as big to me and just as important.
And I will say, since we're talking about the other guys too, not to get too deep before we let you guys drop your Klay Thompson thoughts, but Najee Marshall, bro, my favorite signing of the offseason so far. Bro is the Derrick Jones Jr. upgrade. He's not quite as good on defense. He's almost there though, has a lot more growing to do, but he is such a better shooter and a guy who can actually run their offense when Luka and Kyrie sit on the bench for like 5 minutes or so. So I'll let you guys drop the Klay Thompson takes though. I just wanted to add that because I'm very passionate about that trade.
Yeah, I mean, as someone that's kind of enjoyed watching the Warriors, it's still kind of crazy to know that Klay Thompson won't be a Warrior anymore. But I do agree with Kevin. I think that the best thing for him right now in his career was to get out of Golden State. The pressure was on from the fans, probably his teammates, maybe not his teammates, but I would assume there was just a lot of pressure on him, and he cracked in a way that really was unbecoming of the name Klay Thompson. But yeah, I do think that change of scenery will do him well. I think he can play a really valuable position for that Mavericks team. It's just going to be interesting to see how that works. I mean, there was we had our complaints with the Mavericks signing Kyrie and how, they were just getting more offensively strong. What's more offensively strong than signing Klay Thompson? So it's, it seems like they're kind of going all in on that, and it worked for them last year. So hopefully this can kind of help them push them over the line. But yeah, I mean, it seems like Mavericks are making moves. They have a clear agenda. They have a clear plan of what next year looks like, and it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah, I think signing Klay Thompson was huge, but another thing that Kevin said was, and Miles, was Quentin Grimes and Najee Marshall. I think those are huge because they needed pieces off the bench too. I felt like they had a weak bench, and for them to upgrade their bench and then also add Klay Thompson's three-point shooting is going to help them out tremendously. With that starting five they had with after the trade deadline with getting Gafford and PJ Washington, it improved their team a lot. I think they had under 10 losses with that lineup. But now adding Klay Thompson to that, being able to space the floor and having Luka and Kyrie kick to him is going to be huge. And then having Quentin Grimes and Najee Marshall come off the bench is exactly what they needed. I think that with the Mavericks getting better, we could probably see them finish maybe top four next season.
Honestly, after hating on the Mavericks all last season, I'm gonna do you one better, Vic. I think the Mavericks will finish top two. And I think that because let me hear me out. Let me cook. So PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford didn't even get a full season with the Mavs, and they just geared up and went to the finals. So now this team is going to be building chemistry, getting better, getting a feel for each other for an entire training camp off season. And My, man, what a summer of defensive slides would do to Luca would be scary. Just one summer, just defensive slides and crab walks, bro. But Kyrie just had the best defensive season of his career last year. I've retired from my Kyrie hate after we've finally won the championship. So I will now be hyping up Kyrie on this podcast. But top two, bro. How we feel? Where I want to ask the panel, where do we think the Mavs are finishing next season? Just right now, what are your thoughts?
I think I just looked out my window and seen a portal to hell open up because you just gave Kyrie Irving a compliment and just admitted that a team he's on can finish second in all of the NBA. But so one thing I was really scared about after, and especially free agency starting, I was like, was this a fluky run by Dallas? I was like, are they gonna make like good moves in the offseason and can they keep it up? I was really excited to see and curious to see if they were gonna make any moves. And they have, and these moves have been great. I'm glad Klay chose Dallas over LA because he thought he couldn't shoot the ball in Golden State. We know how the trend is for people that go to the Lakers. All of a sudden, shooters forget how to shoot. So yeah, he wouldn't have been very popular over there. I'm so glad he picked Dallas. I'm glad he had a very adult viewpoint on it. He said taxes was something he looked at. Smart man. So yeah, top five, I think they're definitely going to finish top five in the NBA. Two, as much as I would love to see that, I don't think that's a push at all. I don't think that's crazy to say, but I would be a little surprised if they finish second in the whole entire NBA.
I
But
meant
top five for sure.
for context, I meant second in the West. I should have elaborated on that. I meant second in the West. My bad.
I mean, even saying that right there, they still could possibly be like the third best team overall at the very worst. Because I feel like the only team that could be better than them in the Eastern Conference. Well, the Boston's better than them. Obviously, they just beat them. But other than that, I don't really think another team in the East is going to be better than them. Maybe New York, but I don't think so.
Do we think Nuggets will secure the 1 seed?
No,
No.
they got worse. They have been dying out slowly ever since that championship happened.
How?
They lost, dude, because they
They
lost
lost
Bruce Brown last year, KCP now.
But to say
Reggie
I
they're dying out, like this team finished second this past season. Like two
Reggie
games,
Jackson.
one or two games behind the 1 seed.
I really like the Nuggets, but just with like the offseason moves, they've just haven't been getting any better, I don't think. I would like to
Well,
see them get better, and they just really haven't. I think last year, yeah, they finished second, but I don't think they were as good as that championship year that they had. I felt like they got worse.
I don't really think they got better or worse. I feel like they might have just stayed the same. Like just watching their games, I was like, oh, just Denver's being Denver. That's honestly how it is. Nikola Jokic goes out there, puts up superhuman stat lines. Murray will look unguardable, but just in the playoffs, especially against Minnesota, like the role players were just not hitting. KCP was not hitting. Michael Porter Jr. was not playing well. They didn't re-sign KCP because they felt like Christian Brown was ready to take that next step. And I kind of agree. I mean, they saved a decent amount of money not re-signing KCP. Maybe they can go out there and get somebody. But Christian Brown played really well for them last year in the playoffs, both defensively and offensively. He was shooting well, and he's really dynamic. He brings a lot of energy to the team. So I don't think them not seeing KCP come back is going to be too detrimental to them. But maybe they could sign another guard for to bring back or to bring in this season. There's still a good amount of them available. I think Malik Beasley's still out there. Gary Trent Jr. If they get Gary Trent Jr., that would be so good for them. You have no idea. They
Yeah,
basically got in a younger KCP.
I like that if they get him, but I don't know. I just feel like they got a little bit worse defensively getting rid of KCP.
I'll say I kind of agree with Victor. I don't know. I just have this. And it's not even a suspicion. I guess when you just look at how dominant they were over the last like 2 years, I feel like this does kind of chip away at them a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit harder for them to hold on to kind of these higher seeds. I'm not saying they won't attain it. I'm just saying that I think there will be a little bit more added pressure, and they have, lost some guys. And yeah, I think they got a kind of a blow to their confidence. So it'll be interesting to see if they can hold on to it. But I do have this creeping suspicion that they may fall to like third next season in the West. But I do agree with Kevin as well. Yeah, I know. That's why I said it's not like I don't think they're done for. That I also agree with you, Kevin. I don't think that like they got worse. I just think that there's more added factors to their ability to stay a strong team. But yeah, I do definitely agree that they they didn't get worse. They just kind of stayed the same. It's still the same Nuggets.
Who the hell y'all think KCP is?
I mean, yeah.
I hate to 3v1 you, well, 2.5v1 you with Daniel on the panel, but I'm gonna say that the Nuggets definitely got worse. Losing KCP was their best 3-and-D plug-in player, their best shooter, unless you put Michael Porter Jr. above him, but I don't. Losing him, and I saw the report that apparently the Nuggets offered him the same money. KCP's wife had something different to say about that on Twitter, but that's a different story for a different day. KCP being lost is huge for them, I think. And like Victor mentioned, Bruce Brown also being lost was just a huge hit to them last year. And
Jeff Green
obviously,
too.
okay, but Jeff Green old is old. He old as hell, you know that.
They didn't miss shit with Jeff
Yeah, I
Green,
don't think
bro.
they missed a lot. Bro was
I,
bald. But that was
hey,
bald
bro,
Jeff Green.
he played some good minutes, man.
But y'all are forgetting a big name that they lost, and that's Reggie Jackson. And people could say what they want about Reggie Jackson, but this guy was a playoff rotation player this year. And to lose him as well was huge for them. So they just basically lost two playoff rotation guys. And we know that Mike Malone doesn't have a deep playoff rotation. So I think they have put the world on Christian Brown's shoulders. And I know, Kevin, you said you thought he was ready. I don't really think he's ready yet. I think it's still too early, but I think he can get there. One thing we haven't talked about is Peyton Watson, though. Peyton Watson will be the breakout player of 2025. This guy is going to have the one of the best breakout seasons we've seen in recent history, I think. This guy is ready to take the reins, especially now that these players are gone. People are pushing it on Christian Brown, but I think Peyton Watson's going to end up in that spot instead.
I'm glad you brought him up because I do believe that he will do good next season. Being able to get these minutes now coming off the bench with getting rid of KCP and Reggie Jackson, I definitely think he could come into his own.
I feel like so Peyton Watson, he's has been really great for Denver, and he could have a great season. I feel like this topic of discussion is going to be a really good one to bring up 2 months from now when free agency's over. It's good to talk about it now because a lot of teams have been making moves, but when free agency is over and the first few weeks in the NBA season, I feel like this is going to be like where we can really give like a great take on it and kind of see better at the potential of what and how Denver can finish this off in next year around the playoffs. But yeah, they're definitely gonna have to do something. Like, don't get me wrong there. Like, I don't think that they can just go into next season with what they have right now and be successful. That's not gonna happen, especially with just the improvements Dallas has made, the improvements that OKC has made. They're gonna have to do something. Hopefully, probably get another two guard. Like I said, bro, Gary Trent. I feel like if they get Gary Trent, they will low key be better than what they were with KCP. Gary Trent is so nice. Y'all don't know.
No, I
I know
like
for a
that move.
fact. I know for a fact you don't know. I'm
Who?
talking to you, Victor. Victor.
What do you mean?
He's like, I was messing around. He thought I was talking to someone else. That's funny, but no, I'm just messing around. But Gary Trent's really nice, and if they got him, that'd be great.
The LA Clippers have parted ways with Paul George, and he signed a 4-year, $212 million contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. Was this tampering with Embiid during the finals? I'm not sure. NBA has to investigate that. But I think this is personally a a great signing for the 76ers. I think this can help them out a lot. And getting rid of Tobias Harris as well and adding Paul George can bring a lot to the team. But what do you guys have to say for this signing
Wait, like what? What does he bring?
with Paul George?
Yeah,
He's going to show up because Tobias Harris didn't show up.
Kev.
I know his playoff numbers aren't there. I know he doesn't show
What?
up in the playoffs, but
He said Paul George was gonna show up.
hey, at
That's what.
least
Well,
hey,
so I
I
feel
just
like
wanted
a
to
large
see if
part
you would
of
say three and D, like fits
no.
perfect. I'm just putting you on the spot.
I think just a large part of the success kind of just plays on like how many times are we going to see Paul George and Embiid actually play together?
I
Because
mean,
my guess is 30.
yeah, if they're healthy, I think this team's going to be nice. Like, I really do believe that because last season was the best starting lineup they had since that Jimmy Butler era. And adding Paul George there is huge. They also added Andre Drummond coming off the bench when Embiid is healthy is going to be nice for them. And then, I don't know, just seeing this team healthy, I think they got a legitimate chance to have a decent run for the title.
They added
Re-signing
Eric Gordon
Oubre
too.
and and Eric Gordon.
I don't know. I think they got better personally.
Of course, yeah, they 100% got better. They re-signed everyone they needed to and re-signed great players. We know how good Drummond is. Us being Bulls fans, we reached him that he was a great player. And he's going to a team that really needed a backup because Embiid that's good. I feel like that's going to be really great for Embiid too. Just having like a center go in, sub him out, and that they can actually like rely on one that isn't just a walking bag of hot trash. Resigning Oubre. Oubre was really good for the Sixers last year. Like really, like very surprisingly good. I was like, whoa, like this dude actually like isn't terrible. And then Eric Gordon, veteran, great shooter. He's going to help them out too. And then, we all know who Paul George is. They got better for sure. But how available are they? How are they going to be to actually like play with each other?
Shout out. This is a good trade for you guys as Bulls fans because now DeRozan's probably going to go to the Clippers in a
DeRozan will go to the
panic move.
Clippers. Yeah. And they said if they move DeRozan, then Boost is definitely getting traded. Zach LaVine's trade value is so low, bro. He's not going anywhere. It sucks.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my God.
That's actually like depressing with that whole
Yeah, it
situation.
really, it
I don't
really
even
is,
wanna
bro.
I don't even want to
Who
talk about it.
who declined that Warriors trade? Did the Warriors decline?
Warriors. Warriors
Okay,
declined it.
smart.
Yeah. It was smart.
Damn, bro.
I don't know how to say this without sounding like a hater, but I don't hate Paul George. I just don't have a lot of love for him for whatever reason. I don't know why. It seems like the teams that he goes to end up being allergic to winning. I really think that on paper, this Sixers trade should work out. And I think that, it should be exactly what they need to get them in that competition with the Celtics for the East. But I don't know, man. Like it's just you see that one clip of Paul George where in the different uniforms, and he's like this is where I want to establish a legacy. And then that I think that was him on OKC, and then the next one is like him on the Clippers, and it's like this is where I want to retire. And there's one that's like this is where I want to win a championship. So Paul George, great player. I'm not gonna say that he's not, and I'm not gonna say that, like Kevin said, that this team did get better, but I also hate Embiid, so that could be it. I could be a little bit biased, but I just don't have a lot of faith in the Sixers, man. There's nothing more to that. Just don't count me in for putting them in the top three next season.
Gut feeling tells me I'm with you. Gut feeling tells me they're not going to do anything. I think
Yeah.
this team will be a second round exit in the playoffs, but we'll see. That depends if they even play. So, like Kevin said,
That's what I'm saying. Just the availability is just so huge for this team. And even then, we also have to remember, bro, they added Paul George. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Paul George's track record in the playoffs, yay or nay?
Nay.
Shit.
Just hit a track record. Embiid's track record in the playoffs. I think he's the only MVP in NBA history to never do what?
Make it out of the second round.
Yep, that is correct. Never made it to the conference finals as an MVP. I mean, you know what? I don't really know with this team. Maxey got paid. He had his bag. He's improving greatly. Embiid is still fringe MVP of the league. PG's PG. We'll see. Don't think they're beating New York or Boston, though, in a series.
Like I said before in previous episodes, Embiid's window for a championship is closing. They went out and got that all-star that they're looking for, Paul George. I think they give this a year, two max, and then if it doesn't work, Embiid's out. I don't know what this team's future would look like if they're not successful. But for sure, I think next season will be tough for the 76ers because Boston's going to be running it back. Boston's they signed everybody with extensions and stuff, and then after next season, I think they're going to have to look to get rid of Holiday or Porzingis because they're not going to be able to afford to pay them. So that's when I think that we can see teams in the East be able to compete more with the Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah. Boston really brought everyone back. Even freaking Xavier Tillman and Luke Cornett. Like they
I
wanted to
saw that.
run it back. They wanted to run it back. Everybody. Which is fun, which is great.
How
All
could
those
you
guys
not?
contributed. You could see. I mean, yeah, why not? They were able to bring everybody back. So yeah, man. And then we'll
Just
see what that goes in the way that Tatum just got paid. 315 million 5 year, biggest contract. Jaylen Brown, second biggest contract. 600 million on two players is crazy. I would have thought I never seen the day. I'm not saying
That's
that's a dumb or a
insane.
bad mover at all, but that is just insane to think about. Can we imagine Luca's supermax in a year or two? What that's going to be? It's going to be $500 million.
Dude,
Yeah.
the CBA agreements is like a video game, bro. It's like a tycoon. Like you ever play a tycoon game? It just keeps going up, bro.
has
Yeah,
has Jokic
it's
gotten one yet?
Yeah,
Jokic,
he got it 2 years ago, I think.
Was
and
it
he
before?
was the highest paid at that time.
Okay.
It was 300 million, I believe, or like 295 or something like that.
Because I
Yeah, it
remember
was
for a while. Well, he got that after the championship, right? Because I feel like, yeah. Or was
I
it
don't know.
before? No, wasn't it before?
It was
no, I
before
think
the
it's after
championship.
yeah, I think it's after he got the MVP. He signed
Yeah,
that close to $300 million contract. Then the season after they paid Jaylen Brown and now Tatum got paid.
yeah. And about 10 years ago, more like 11 or 12, it was Mike Conley.
Yeah.
Don't forget
What
about
was it?
Rudy Gobert. That
What
one
was
was,
what was Conley's that we thought was insane back in the day? 5 year 150.
yeah, it
I
was
think it
like
was
something
128, 125 maybe.
crazy.
Yeah, it was 125, I believe. And could you imagine what prime LeBron's supermax would be today?
Like Cleveland, the transfer to Cleveland after Miami. What that would what that trade would look like?
It's like if 27-year-old LeBron was a free agent right now, what would his supermax be for the team he'd be on? It would have to be $500 million
Yeah.
You would
Easily.
think.
Maybe
easily.
700.
Let's
Or even closer.
let's drop our grades on this Paul George move. I'll start and I'll go with B plus. I'll go B plus on this one.
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the rumor that A minuses or sorry, minuses and pluses in grades are kind of made up.
Never heard that.
Never heard that. Well, it's a saying in some schools. I don't know. Anyway, I would give it a B, and I would just give it a B because there's that phantom reason. Well, I guess it's not really a phantom reason. It's Paul George. Paul George will do his thing, and he'll put a curse on that team during the regular season. I think he'll do good, which is why I give it a B. But he's got some. I don't know. He's got some enchantments, or he's cursed, or something. I don't know. That's why I give it a B. It would be a B plus, but they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna win anything. So
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B minus. I definitely do think pluses and minuses matter because I'm gonna say a B minus and a heavy emphasis on the minus. I don't see this working.
seems like
Pick.
couldn't get Jimmy Butler, so they settled for Paul George.
Yeah, bro, I'm glad you said that quickly. Sorry, Vic. I'm so tired of the 76ers just like it's like a battery pack, bro. Like, all right, let's get Jimmy Butler. No. All right, Tobias Harris, let's give him the max. Nope. All right, let's bring in James Harden. No. All right, how about Paul George? Like it's just, bro, I'm so tired of them trying to like find the Embiid co-star. And, like,
Yeah.
can we just agree if this one doesn't work that like there is no Embiid co-star? Like,
No,
all
because
right.
Embiid isn't a star. Well, he is, but I don't. I'm a hater, so I'm just gonna shut up. Whatever.
I think I would give it a B plus just because with the availability of both of them and come playoffs, we don't know how well they're going to be able to perform with each other because they both decline. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B plus.
My final thoughts. Klay Thompson signing to the Mavericks just destroyed the Lakers franchise for the foreseeable future. For the next half decade, they're cooked. Klay Thompson swindling, fleecing the Lakers out of by not signing there, allowed LeBron to take on his max 2-year contract, the max amount of money they could give him for a 40-year-old. He's good, but he's not going to win you a championship anymore. So LeBron took that money. They didn't get anyone, any role players. They lost Torian Prince. They gave Bronny a 4-year guaranteed deal that he apparently earned. I don't know how that happened. According to
Four
JJ
Hard work,
Redick, he
years.
earned it.
according to JJ Redick. Hard
He
work.
he, he earned it before Dalton Connect. He signed his guaranteed 4-year deal before Dalton Connect hit.
Dude,
They're cooked, bro. They're
they
done.
are. Bro, a 55th pick getting a 4-year guaranteed deal is unheard of. Those guys are
Bro,
always on two-way contracts.
when did
Not a
he earn it?
guaranteed. I don't really think ever, but oh my God, like Dalton Connect can actually be a great player for
I know.
them. Like I think he's so good. But bro, yeah, that is insane to say. I mean, I didn't notice that today or whenever LeBron resigned, they said he was willing to take a pay cut. And I said, I remember seeing a graphic. It said LeBron willing to take a pay cut for these players right here, and it was a list of 5 players, and then all of them had X's over them because were on a different team, and the only one left was DeMar DeRozan. So now that he signed that 2-year 100 million, they're not getting DeMar DeRozan, and they shouldn't get him because there's no spacing and then no 3-point shooting with having DeMar DeRozan on your team, which is what they
So
need.
I definitely don't agree with Miles that the I know, and I know you're not being like 100% serious, but in a way, like what you said does make logical sense. I know. I just in my head, this is a win at all costs type of situation. And I mean, we joke around. I say it like 1,000 times, but like we joke around about LeBron having the pool that he does, but this showed it. I mean, like you guys said, 4 years guaranteed at 55 at the 55th pick is ridiculous and borderline just kind of, I don't want to say disgusting because it's not disgusting, but it's crazy. The amount of influence that LeBron James has on that team and just over the league is unheard of and unfathomable in a way. But what I will say is that I think that there is some logic to what people are saying that LeBron wants to give Bronny the best situation to win now before he leaves the league. And, we've seen that the Lakers have no issues trading right before the deadline going into playoffs. So I really do think that they're going to do something crazy and get someone. I mean, without looking at it, I don't know who's going to be available, but I just think that they're not they're going to have a rough first part of the season. I won't say that isn't true. I just think that they've got something up their sleeve. I think LeBron's got something planned out for like 3 years now. He must, man. He's had the blueprint forever. Someone said that I forget how old Bronny is exactly, but they said like when Bronny was born, LeBron literally just like basically made his own archetype. So 20 years later, he could play with him and dish him the ball. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out.
I think this is going to be LeBron's last year. I'm not going to lie. I think
I'm
he's not going to.
so glad you said that.
I
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I
because
saw the 2-year, I was like, I don't know, bro. Is he gonna make it?
Nah, he got his like wish with getting Bronny as his teammate and being able to be the first father-son duo in the NBA. I think he's retiring after this season. He's not going to do a farewell tour like everybody thinks he is. I mean, maybe he will. Maybe he'll play two more, but I highly doubt it. I don't see him as being the farewell tour type.
He has to, bro. Even if he doesn't want to, like the NBA will make him.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he's damn near the GOAT.
They'll
Like,
send his
you
ass to
could
the
call that
Bulls.
guy the greatest basketball player ever. Like, he's gonna have a farewell tour.
Do you know what a LeBron farewell tour would do for the NBA? They
With
had they bro.
with his son would be, I think, even bigger though.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part.
Yeah.
It would make ticket prices to get into the games $1,000 for nosebleeds. So
Yeah.
I can't even imagine I guess they don't play at Staples. What is it, crypto now? Crypto arena? I
Yeah.
can't even imagine a crypto arena like ticket, bro. Like,
Or MSG.
dude,
They
like
they stop the game every time it's the last time in the regular season. LeBron James will play the Clippers or play the OKC Thunder. They interview him. They're like, "How does it feel? This is your last time playing the Oklahoma City Thunder," or before the game even.
the Boston
Yeah.
Celtics matchup, dude, it's gonna be so sick. I was
Yeah.
I was literally about to ask, like, do you guys think this is the off season where we get the announcement? Like this will be LeBron James's final season. I think yes. I think it's
So
coming.
so I'm glad you asked that because I was gonna say something that may sound crazy, and I don't care because I'm hoping it pans out. I think LeBron James will, at the very least, play 2 more years. And I think that that third year will be his farewell tour. I think that this year will be. I still stand by everything that I said. I think it's a win now, or it's a win now situation for sure for him. But I don't know. I feel like they're gonna get a little bit closer than they did this year, and he's gonna be like, I got one more. That Vince Carter quote. I got one more in me, and he's gonna try to run it back. It's not gonna go well, and then he'll do his farewell tour. That's just my prediction, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think LeBron James might make it to 3 more years. We've been saying it for so long, like, oh, LeBron's got 2 more years in him, and it feels more realistic now. But I think I think he'll surprise us again.
Speed round. Biggest winner, biggest loser. My biggest winner, the Oklahoma City Thunder. My biggest loser, the Atlanta Hawks.
I'm gonna go biggest loser, LA Lakers. Biggest winner? I'm gonna say New York, just to switch it up. I want to go OKC too, but I don't want to give the same answer. Say, yeah, biggest winner, New York, biggest loser, Lakers.
for biggest loser, I'm gonna go with Atlanta Hawks. Biggest winner, I'm gonna have to give it to either the 76ers or the Mavericks.
I'm gonna go ahead and give the biggest loser to the Hawks and the biggest winner to the Mavericks. And the reason why, just really quick, is because I think that anytime a team goes as far as the Mavericks did, and they still are able to make moves after the deadline and good moves, Quentin Grimes and Klay Thompson, I think will pan out. So, yeah,
This is guess the active NBA player by shot chart. I got five NBA players from this season's shot chart, and you guys are going to be guessing them. So for the first round, it's going to be worth 1 point. The last round is going to be worth 5 points. The darker the blue, the better they shoot.
Bet that.
All right, Daniel, you got the first guess.
Stephen Wardell Curry at number one.
Jason Tatum.
First chart, I think, is Luka Doncic.
This player is Carl Anthony Towns. This is Carl Anthony Towns'
Bro,
shot
I
chart.
thought I thought it was a big because of all the shots they take from the top of the key and down low, but I was gonna put Jokic. I wasn't gonna put Cat. I just had a weird feeling it was a big. Damn, that's good.
All right, here's the second round.
What the?
Yeah, this dude's all over the place.
Oh, I know this one.
Consistent
Yeah.
down low.
Also gets,
No, like
but
mid-range
but
consistent.
also
Mid-range
gets
guy.
in the midi too.
I got first in this mug. Actually, we should
I
Oh,
wait until we all
I know
all
who
I
have
this
already
it.
know
is. I
Mike's.
know who this is. I know who this is.
y'all. I already know who y'all think it is, but y'all be shocked.
We'll be
Okay, well,
shocked.
since you just said that, let me change my answer
Yeah,
then.
for real. Like
Victor, you just gotta let him guess, bro. Let him go. Let him go in and let him go in there all big bald. We're so sure. You should have
I
just let
know.
him be sure.
Yeah,
I should
you just yeah.
Because I wasn't so sure. I thought I was. I still am. I don't know.
He pulls a reverse rug. Fucking it is who we think it is. All right,
have.
ready.
Hold on. I'm all right. I think I have my guess.
James Harden at number 2.
Give me Luka Doncic.
Second chart. Give me Joel Embiid.
So
I know he
none
likes to
of
shoot
you
them, but he
guys
doesn't.
were right again. It was Devin Booker.
Damn.
Look, dang, that makes sense. That's good.
Time for the third chart.
It's all current, right?
Yes, this is all active players from last season.
Daniel was about to say Walt Frazier.
He just made it to the 70s and is watching every game saga. He just saw Kareem get drafted. I'll go first on this one. I got Domantas Sabonis.
Good one. All right, for the third chart, I got Zion Williamson.
For the third chart, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Damn, those were all good guesses, but it is Anthony Davis.
Oh,
Close.
Sa-
So
Wow.
I was the funny thing that I was gonna put Domantas Sabonis. That was gonna be his spot, but I decided to change it because I kind of his shot chart kind of could have looked misleading, so I didn't go with it.
I'm so tired of y'all telling me that's a great guess, but or I was gonna do him, but every interactive reel, man. I'm so tired of this. All
Well,
right.
it shows we're thinking about how to dupe. It's
But
not
now it's
fun when
time
we
for the
always win.
fourth shot chart.
Okay, this could literally be anyone. Well,
I
they
know.
they just look mid as hell at
I know.
everything. Ah, good call. Good call.
But I don't think it's who
It's definitely not.
the immediate guess would be.
Should I start giving hints for the last two rounds?
You can if
Yeah.
you want.
So someone has a chance at winning.
All right, they're in the Western Conference and the guard. I'm gonna give you guys two hints.
Okay, it's kind of looking like it's the obvious answer. That's a lot of work down low for a guard.
Dude, this is hard, man. I'm struggling. I don't know how you guys are feeling. Let me review all my teams, make sure I didn't forget one.
A corner 3 specialist that spends all of his time in the paint.
But only shot in one corner.
Who's coming off that? Who's coming off that pick and roll? That's what I'm thinking about. It's a guard though, actually. That
Going off
doesn't
a
make
pick and
sense.
roll to the corner for three. Why are you thinking about pick and rolls?
I don't know. I'm just
You
well,
see the shot chart?
Yeah, you don't really.
Bro,
I mean, most basketball players I know don't pick and roll to the corner.
there actually
I
is
don't know.
one. There is one player I know who would do something like that,
Well,
and
dude, Warriors
that's
have
why
those
I'm
like
gonna
screens.
that's why I'm
I,
gonna go Klay Thompson as my guess for the shot chart.
I wrote down Klay Thompson too, actually.
I'm gonna go with for this shot chart, Jamal Murray.
Give me a backup as Paul George in case he says that's the right answer.
None of you
Guard.
guys were right at all. It was De'Aaron Fox.
I didn't even
What?
think about De'Aaron Fox,
What?
bro.
Crazy.
I didn't even think
Bro,
about De'Aaron Fox.
how you gonna give us a shot chart with the corner three like lit up and then say, "Oh, it's De'Aaron Fox"?
But
Bro,
was bro
bro,
that lethal corner three?
that's crazy, bro.
That is crazy.
I guess we got duped by the volume. I guess the volume isn't there in the corner.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, Daniel's guess was pretty solid, and then I thought Kevin had it for some reason. I thought this dude knew who it was. But for the last and final shot chart, here it is.
Can we get the hints
Eastern
for all the
Conference,
marbles?
Eastern Conference wing.
I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum.
I'm gonna go with Jalen Brown. I'm just rivaling everything you say.
It's fair. It's a fair shot. I thought he would for sure do like Damian Lillard in one of these. Like
Right.
for some reason I was like Vic's gonna pick Damian Lillard for one of these, and he didn't. So I was very surprised.
Bro, I feel like I know I could guess who this is, but
Yeah, I feel like I could. I feel like I know I can guess like every player, but
yeah,
when I actually guess, I don't get
yeah,
it.
I know. Eat dirt. Oh my God. Give me Jalen Brown.
Miles was right. It
Yeah,
was Jason Tatum.
let's
Yeah.
go.
I knew
Let's
it was gonna be one of them.
go.
I
Yes,
knew it was gonna be
sir.
one of them.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
I knew it was gonna
Reppin'.
be one of them. It had to
Miles
be.
got the buzzer beater.
Let's go.
You know
Time
what?
winding down. I want Mike
Guessing
Bank shot.
guessing Jalen Brown didn't make any sense because look how hot he is going to the left shooting three.
That's true.
Silly me. Silly us. I
I
should have
knew it
just
was someone with a step back or like a side step, some kind of move
yeah.
up there.
Well, all right.
That's what I'm
Does it
saying.
like
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like Eastern Conference wing, it had to be one of them.
Yeah.
does it looking at these shot charts after I explain who it is, like does it make sense?
Sure.
Fox did
De'Aaron
not make
Fox.
sense.
No,
Fox was a
Fox does not
fluke.
make sense. But then again, I didn't watch a lot of De'Aaron Fox this year, so
AD wasn't really obvious enough either. Those are my only complaints.
Ooh.
Anthony Davis like wasn't
Oh.
obvious enough. That could have been like any big. All right, boys. It's time to revive our long lost segment, comment of the week. And this one is a simple one. It comes from the YouTube reel Is Jason Tatum a Superstar? Made by co-host Daniel. Comes from Brian Aguilera 04. And the comment is, Kevin, why are you wearing a bonnet? Kevin, what's your answer?
His mama left it at my crib.
Well,
We should
That's
tag
my
it.
answer.
Post it on the Instagram story.
you heard it here for
Your mama.
you heard it here first. His mama left it at his crib. Thank you everyone for watching. We appreciate you being here. GMLB every other week for the summer. Season 3 coming soon. We got big plans. Thank you all for helping us grow.